you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining me for Try It Out Tuesday. Today, I picked up a bundle over at Concord 9th. I think this is fairly new to the shop. And I just loved the florals in here, and I loved that with spring bringing around the corner, I thought it'd be really fun to create with. This is a 5-piece stencil set that will create this background. And I just, even the leaves and the stems are all on one stencil, so it means you only need to use one ink, which is really nice. Usually with my stencils I use the oxide inks, but I thought I would use my Concord 9th ink pads to create a background today. This being a bundle, there's 2 bumblebees in here. One is a bumblebee you can stamp, and then you can die cut it out with the coordinating dies. Actually, that bumblebee's right here. And then there's just the body of a bumblebee, along with some etched wings in the base of the bumblebee. So there's bumblebees too. And then this stamp set, it's called Sweet Bee. I think this is the Sweet Bee bundle. Say that fast 10 times, but this goes perfectly with the flowers and the bumblebees. So we're going to make a really fun card today. Now, I also, I'm a fan of pixie spray, but I picked this up at Simon Says Stamp, and this is the Stamp and Stencil mat from Brutus Monroe. It's a low stick mat, and I've never used one of these, and I thought, well, since it's Try It Out Tuesday, let's try this with our stencils and see how this does. I like this idea. Rather than using pixie spray, you can hold your stencil and your cardstock down. So we're going to use this as well. Let's go ahead and jump in and do a little bit of stenciling. This has a protective sheet that I'm going to keep and replace it. Otherwise I'll get cat hair and lint all over this. Now, with this stencil being just a little bit larger than an A2 panel, there's 5 in here. And let me take them all out. They are indexed. This one says Floral 1, Floral 2, Floral 3, and they're all on the very top, which is really nice. And they're indexed or etched with a bracket to show where to put your A2 card. So these are really nice in all 4 corners. You have that little etched little brackets that will guide you on where to put your panel. So let's take a piece of cardstock. I have one here. It's a card front panel. I'm going to put it on my, let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to put it on my sticky mat, and then I'm going to start with stencil number 1. And I'm going to use these brackets as a guide. Let me see, will this tack down? Oh, that's good. That's nice. So we have about 1/4 of an inch, so it does tack down to the craft mat, which is really nice. Okay, I'm using my Concord 9th inks. I haven't used them in a while. Okay, so I have 2 different shades of green. When I picked up this sticky mat at Simon Says Stamp, I also picked up some more of the blending tools. I have my blending brushes for, this is actually a Gina K container. I actually put my Spellbinders blending brushes in here. But these are for my oxide inks. I don't have any brushes for regular inks. So I picked up some of these. I'm going to go ahead and start with my lightest ink. Pick up some color here. And I'm going to go around and add some color. And I guess I kind of shifted a little bit. I think I'm going to tack this down. It's shifting. I don't think I have enough room for this stencil, so I'm going to tack this down. Just so I know it's not going to move. And then I'm going to add some ink. I'm going to go over, the first ink that I'm using is Sprout. Okay. And then after I have my light green down, I'm going to go in using the same blending brush. I'm going to go ahead and add parsley. And I'm just going to add a little bit of darker color on the edges. Wonderful. Okay, green's all done. Now we're off to our second layer. And I'm going to line up those corners. Okay, for my next layer, I'm going to be using some pinks. I have Ballet Slipper and Honeysuckle. So we're going to do the same thing and go over our first layer with our lightest color. So I'll pick up some of this ink and we'll go over and my camera's probably really shaky. Ballet Slipper is a very light pink. And then I'm going to add a little bit of gradient with Honeysuckle, which is probably one of my favorite inks because it's like a corally color. Oh, I think that's really pretty. Let's go ahead and remove this stencil. I just love the way this is turning out so far. Now we're going to take our layer number 3. We'll line this up. And for this layer, I'm going to use Sorbet. And Grapefruit. We'll take Grapefruit and lightly go over it. Wonderful. And then I'm going to go over with a little bit of the darker Sorbet and kind of add a little bit of darker detail. Gosh, that is so pretty. Okay, and then for my last layer, we'll tack this down. And then I'm going to go back with Honeysuckle. And just go over the middle. And then for this one, the detail layer, I'm going to add my Memento. And there we have it. I just think that looks so, so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and lift up my panel. Now I'm going to repeat this one more time. Now I have both of my panels done, and I think they're pretty close to being the same exact. And I will put one off to the side, and then we will die cut out some flowers on this one. Before we die cut the flowers though, I do want to take an acrylic block, and in the stamp set, the Sweet Bee stamp set, let's go ahead and take this out. I'm going to take the solid, not the full bee image, the image of the bee that doesn't have the wings. I want to take this and I will stamp this with my black ink on some yellow cardstock. And I messed up on that one. And I think I went probably 3 or 4 bees in total. Okay, so I have the base of the bees on my yellow cardstock stamped. And now we're going to take the coordinating die set. And I love that you don't have to separate them. And we're going to die cut out the bee here. And then there's some wings here. I don't know if you can tell the etched detail. We'll die cut out some wings with some white cardstock. And some flowers. Everything is die cut out, and I could have kept going. I stopped, but I could actually cut everything out on this panel, which was pretty neat. I'm only going to use a couple florals in my card today in the background. But I did create my bumblebees. They're very easy to make. After I cut out my body with the coordinating die, I'm just going to add a couple dots of glue. If you wanted to put some dimensional adhesive behind, behind the wings, you could, but they're kind of on the small side, so all you do is put a couple dots of glue and add those wings right over the existing one, and you have a cute little bumblebee. If you wanted to use vellum, you probably could too, although you would see the yellow behind it. But super cute bumblebees. Now for my background, I want to do something a little extra special. Let's put these off to the side. The ones that the leftover flowers that we don't use, we can put on the inside of our card. But I have a brick die that I'm going to be using. This is from my stash. And I'm going to take this. What this is going to do, let me show you when this is going to die cut out just a brick pattern and leave the rest. I'm going to do that on this panel here. I'm going to go probably about a 1/2 inch from the left side. And I want to put some cardstock behind here. And I chose, I believe this is sorbet, either grapefruit or sorbet cardstock from Concord 9th. I'm going to take this, put this directly on my card base. I'm going to stamp this on a banner that I created with one of my banner dies. And I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink for my sentiment. Wonderful. Okay, now's the fun part where we get to decorate it with some florals. I'm going to take this banner, flip it around, put some foam squares behind it. And then we're going to add this to our card. Next we'll add some of our flowers. I think that looks really nice. Now we get to add our bumblebees. I think 3 is the perfect amount. I'm going to put the rest on the inside of my card. Wonderful. I think the inside, it looks pretty. It's not very often I decorate the inside, but I think it sure is a nice touch. Okay, and then we need a little bit of sparkle. So I'm going to bring in, these are iridescent snow crystals. I'm going to add just a few. Just using some glue. Okay, and since these gems have a little bit of an iridescent hue to them, I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to the bee wings. With my diamond stickles. Just a little bit. Wonderful. And that finishes off my card today for Try It Out Tuesday. I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.